words. I don't know how to change that around.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm not skilled in that area.
Chair Norton has just joined the meeting. Would you like to do a mic check?
Hello, Courtney. Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Sounds great.
This is good. How's everybody else doing so far? What's been happening? Anybody been saying anything? See my phone here real fast. I like having Brittany here too. That's good. Brittany, always welcome. Good to have you on the team. Okay, Vice Chair, how you doing this afternoon?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I think, and Brittany, if you're there, I think the problem with getting that agenda to me might be that the email that's down there for me in the system is wrong, and I can't change it for some reason. But obviously you have the right one because the last couple got to me, but the agenda did not originally.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to just send me your email again, I can try putting it in the group email.
Well, the one you just sent it to just a few minutes ago is the correct one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Courtney and Brittany, I think Christy and Barbara are having trouble logging in. I sent them the link, the Panos link that everyone else is logged in under. Any suggestions?
That's how I log in. One of our computers is straight off the agenda. Just click on it from the city's website.
Okay, let me have them do that.
Yes. And then I can make them panelists from there.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate that.
No problem.
We'll give them, since it is past 4 o'clock, I appreciate everybody being on time. We'll give them one more minute, or a few minutes, of course, for the special presentation to log in.
And Chair Norn, if you want to start, I'm going to send them the link to the agenda online. Eric Burton, Recreation Supervisor, will be starting with the first presentation for corporate games.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stacy. Okay, with no further ado, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Parks and Rec Commission meeting of October 13th, Wednesday, with roll call. Can we please call that staff?
Chair Noren,
Here.
Vice Chair Wood,
Here.
Commissioner Shapiro,
Here.
Commissioner Bremer,
Here.
Here.
All right.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Nelson.
Here.
And then one more time, Commissioner Miller,
Like no Commissioner Miller. Is he logged in, staff? Okay, doesn't look like it here on my
I
screen.
don't see him.
Okay. I believe we still have quorum, so
You do. You're all good to proceed.
thank you so much, Brittany. Appreciate that. With special presentations and announcements that are first on our agenda, it's recommended by the Parks and Rec Commission that we receive an overview of the corporate games program from our Recreation Supervisor, Eric Burton. So we want to welcome Eric Burton today. And Eric, thank you so much. Take it away.
Thank you, Chair Norn and Park and Rec Commissioners. Thank you for having me this afternoon. I was asked to give you a brief update on the corporate games. And corporate games is near and dear to my heart. 32 years ago, I brought the corporate games to the city of Ventura, and it was a very small program that just consisted of just a few companies over a weekend at the state beach. And over the years, it has grown to close to 85 companies over a 4-week period. The idea of the corporate games is to bring employees from other cities together and to do some fun activities and build camaraderie and team building within the companies. It's been very successful, supported by a lot of different companies that sponsor, and also companies that just come back year after year after year. Of course, last year, as everyone knows, we had to cancel the corporate games due to COVID. First time in 30 some years that program didn't go on. And I know we're having similar things happening with the VYBA, another program that has been near and dear to city of Ventura for over 50 years. And that program wasn't able to go on either. This year, we plan to do something that was not necessarily the same as we've done in the past, but a modified version of the corporate games that we felt like we could do safely and do it well, and still have the companies get a benefit from what we were offering. So this year we did a modified version of the corporate games. It's currently going on as we speak after 17-year hiatus. The corporate games is a business-to-business team sports competition. That just means the companies versus companies of similar size competing for awards and prizes, similar to what I have around my neck. You see this, gold medal. These are the kind of the prizes that the companies get if they win first, second, or third place. And normally we do this event in the spring. But because we lost it last year, we decided to do a modified version of it in the fall. So what has happened so far is we have 23 companies registered for the corporate games, participating in 15 events. We use a list of some companies. I don't go through the entire list, but you will recognize some of these. Aero Environment, Casa Pacifica, the City of Camarillo, the City of Santa Paula, Limonera, Sidcor, Oxnard Union Schools, Dalkey Microwave, Salem Media Group, Trader Joe's, the County of Ventura, Los Robles Hospital, Parker Hannafin, Boscovich Farms, just to name a few. Those are some of the companies. This year, we are missing some of our companies that have been around forever. Amgen is not in this year. Patagonia was not able to come in this year, but we were able to get 23 different companies from throughout Ventura County to participate. I'll just name off a few of the events that we have that we're offering. All of our events are done outside except for 3. The 3 events that are done indoors was bowling, which we had on Saturday, and everybody had to be fully masked up and follow all CDC guidelines, state and local guidelines as well. We had billiards that was done at Sticks Billiards, one of our hosts. And then this coming week, we're going to be doing axe throwing at Laser Tag Extreme. So those are the 3 events that are held indoors. Everything else is held outdoors. Some of the events that we're offering this year, a virtual 5K run, beach volleyball, softball, men's and co-ed softball, flag football, kickball, miniature golf, pickleball, which is exciting for us because we've never offered that one before, surfing, bowling, cornhole, golf at our local golf course at Buenaventura Golf Course, paintball, and 6-a-side soccer. I know Chair Norn tries to play golf. I saw him out there the other day. I had no idea what he was doing, but he looked like he was having fun. Our local
True,
business
thank
our local business community has been enjoying the games up to this point, and appreciates the opportunity to engage in a safe, friendly, and fun uh, competition and team building after a very challenging past 2 years. I've heard a lot of positive comments from the teams that are in, and I know some of the teams that are absent are looking forward to coming back next year. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Great presentation, and the commission, excuse me, really appreciates you coming and giving that overview. We came up with the opportunity of recreation over the last few months, which is a hot topic in our community, of course. So I do have one quick question, and then I'd like to open the floor up to the rest of the commission to you as well, is if you're a small business and, let's say you're an Uber driver and this is something small and you want to do corporate games, a lot of the names that I heard you say, and this is just obviously off the top of my head of what you heard, were a little bit bigger, right? Agriculture, different stuff. Is there opportunity for someone who wants to kind of be a solo person to come in and play corporate games?
Well, we've had smaller companies. We kind of have a threshold of 10 employees or more as kind of the threshold that we know can happen. We're not really geared to the mom and pop shop, so to speak. But we have allowed smaller companies to come together to form a larger company, and have companies done that. So we will work with the companies to make it happen if it can happen.
Perfect. Yeah, and it sounds like I just want to make that approach. It sounds like you're going to be very workable and adaptable. One of my favorite things about the presentation was that you're getting small business involved with at Buena Lanes, at Sticks. I'm assuming miniature golf is that golf and stuff, hopefully, right? I mean, that's something that's super exciting to me, the opportunity that you're creating, also introducing outside cities into our city with recreation is a positive. With that being said, can I open the floor real fast? Any other commissioners have a question for Mr. Burton?
We raising our hand or just jumping in?
Go ahead, Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thanks. Question, Eric. Nice presentation. Are the events open to spectators, and how do people find out the when and the where?
Well, yes, they are open to spectators. Sometimes there's limited access. For instance, at the bowling alley, there wasn't a lot of room. Once you get the bowlers in there, there's not a lot of room for spectators at that point. But all of our outdoor events are available to spectators. The best thing to do is go to probably the Ventura corporategames.org website and then click on the links to follow the schedules. It may take you to another site called Team Sideline, which is where we house most of our schedules, and we'll also give you a listing of where those events are held.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Wood. Appreciate everyone's patience with my communication. I'm still doing my 4-panel phone. I see Barbara and Christy are here too. Welcome to the meeting. Thank you for being here. We're dealing with that challenge. Okay, with not seeing any more questions and anybody who's feeling comfortable to jump in, let's let Mr. Burton get back to his hard work of organizing all this great recreation in our community. I did want to make a note. Thank you for bringing up the point of view IBA. We saw the communication go out by staff. I had the opportunity to run into Cip in the pharmaceutical store this week, actually at Walgreens in the community. So we know the community is heartfelt with that and appreciate the communication on that, and keep up the great work. And we look forward to not only basketball, but everything else you're doing. Thank you, Mr. Burton.
I have a quick question on whether the corporate games will return to their normal time in 2022.
That's a tricky question.
Maybe.
I was leaning to moving the corporate games to the fall in the first place. And so as this gave us an opportunity to move it to the fall to see how it would work. I believe the weather's better in the fall. There are other obstacles, obviously, with the fall schedule. Has some different problems for us, but I kind of feel that we'll be back again in the fall at this point, unless something really drastic happens to move it to the spring.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Mr. Burr, would you elaborate on that a little bit more? You said before you were going to move it prior. Was it just the weather that was the indication before, or were there prior indications?
Well, we were running into a lot of problems in the spring as well. I mean, not just the weather. You have your graduation ceremonies. You have other large events that are happening in the spring that really made it difficult for the companies to get involved. A lot of companies are doing their trade shows and things like that in the spring as well. So there were just a variety of things that were going on, and we were looking to move it to the fall, and COVID actually gave us an opportunity to do that.
I think you lost your chair.
Yeah, I think it looks like he's on limited bandwidth issue going on, so.
So Vice Chair Wood, do you mind running the meeting until Chair Noren pops back on? I do want to let everyone know that City Clerk did inform me that we have until 5:15 this evening due to a scheduling conflict with our WebEx platform. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. Also, I did send out to Chair Noren and Vice Chair Wood for item number 3. I suggest that we move, item number 2, the Ventura Conventions Bureau Executive Committee, that we move that to the November meeting. So I just want to give everyone a heads up. And then if there's no other questions for Mr. Burton, I'd like to thank him for his time. And if you guys have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out directly to Eric, and he'll be more than happy to shed some light on any of the activities going on right now in corporate games.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Appreciate.
Thank you.
All righty. So I think that is a good recommendation to move item number 2. So we'll go ahead and pass that one by. And then are we going to see the agenda back here, I guess?
So next up
Pull it up.
is, yeah. So next up is we have one more special presentation for the Parks and Recreation Commission to receive an overview of the Ventura Tree Alliance from co-founders Christy Weir and Barbara Brown.
All right, welcome.
Thank you. And there's our PowerPoint. You guys are so good.
We're
Just like we
trying.
know what we're doing almost.
Yeah, well, WebEx can be a challenge. I know
Yes.
that. Well, thank you all for having us. It's really fun to see you all and to be here to talk to you. We're going to make a quick little PowerPoint and then have time to answer questions if you have any. I'm Christy Weir, and I'm here with Barbara Brown. We're the co-founders of the Ventura Tree Alliance. Next slide. And this is the purpose of this group is community action committed to celebrating, protecting, and enhancing Ventura's tree canopy. Next. To give life, this quote, I love this life, to plant trees is to give body and life to one's dreams for a better world. We all know that trees take a while to grow, and planting them gives us a chance to look into the future and know that that future will have, better air, more shade. So that is our goal, to help this city help the community come together to make this community into a more urban forest community. Next.
So these are some of the thoughts that guide us. The Ventura Tree Alliance mission is to enhance Ventura's neighborhoods by planting and caring for trees. Dream it, grow it, care for it. Next. Because a healthy urban forest enhances community health and well-being. Trees are a climate solution. They moderate heat and wind. They mitigate building energy and CO2 emissions. They improve air quality. They decrease rainfall runoff and flooding, and they provide homes for plants and animals, and they lower sound pollution. There are approximately 12,000 empty tree wells in the city of Ventura. It's one of the reasons we started the organization, because Christy and I both noticed that there just seemed to be so many of them. So our goal is to plant trees in those wells to maintain a vibrant, sustainable urban forest.
Next. We are always happy to see new street trees. Those 12,000 empty tree wells make a difference. And when trees get planted in them, we notice and the community notices. These are 3 pictures of 3 different areas of town that have recently gotten some street trees. And the one in the middle is Heather Baker, who actually applied for one of your community partnership beautification grants and got the grant and used the money to plant honey locust trees on Main Street in Midtown and by the cemetery park there. The one on the left, the palm, the city urban forestry department just planted, I think 12 new palm trees going up San Hone. So that's filling in quite a few empty tree wells right there. Next. So another opportunity that we're looking at is parking lots, not just street trees, but parking lot trees. The parking lot on the left is over by Winco. And you can see there that it's just a lot of asphalt with no shade whatsoever to kind of counteract all that heat from the asphalt. On the right is a parking lot downtown that has a pretty good amount of shade, and those trees will keep growing. Next. The city was able to repave this parking lot. It's off of Loma Vista, but next to the parking structure where Community Memorial Hospital is, and right sort of behind the 99-cent store. And it was in terrible condition. And fortunately, the city was able to put in tree wells here. There weren't any shade trees in this parking lot before. And put in new tree wells and plant some Australian willows that grow into beautiful canopies. Next.
So this is an image showing the Gator Bags that the city uses to water trees slowly. This one in particular is recycled water only. And it's very, very important for young trees to get enough water to get a healthy start. And beyond that, we talked to an oak tree specialist last weekend, and he said actually recycled water might be better for things like oak trees because of the additional minerals in the water. Next. So this is a picture of Jim Ackerman, who's on the Tree Alliance, and his 1969 Ford 250 camper special. But Jim has been a longtime user of recycled water. And this fill station, I'm sure all of you know about it, that's available for non-potable water pickup for Ventura residents. There is a permit that you have to get, and it's very easy to get. And there's a small cost, but this recycled water is great for watering most trees. Next. So here's our mayor, Mayor Rubalcaba, hand watering a tree, and certainly we've all done that. City street trees are drought challenged. If you have one in your block, a few buckets of water each week will help it survive, or even pulling your hose out from your house to the street tree. Next.
So here's a couple more tree events that we're happy to talk about. One of them is the Arbor Day event, and this was a partnership between the Parks Department and Urban Forestry. And the Ventura Hillside Citizens for Hillside Preservation sponsored new olive trees in Cemetery Park, and fortunately the community was able to come help celebrate and put some shovels of dirt in. Next. One of the benefits of trees you will see in most cities, especially where it's hot. Ventura is starting to get more heat waves. But the Department of Agriculture says that the cooling impact of one healthy shade tree is equal to 10 room-sized air conditioners. And so the most economic way to cool a house is actually to plant some shade trees on the side where it will actually cast shade. And temperatures on tree canopied streets compared to exposed ones tend to be anywhere from 5 degrees to 15 degrees cooler. And you can tell that especially in a parking lot when you park your car and there's no shade, it ends up about 20 degrees difference when you park in the sun. Next.
So pruning a tree, if any of you have taken any classes on pruning, you know that pruning a tree well enhances the health of the tree and its longevity. So the one on the right is probably not the best way to prune a tree, aside from the fact that it pushes the leaves back towards the center. It doesn't provide shade. So that larger, older tree to the left there is providing very little shade on the parking lot. And then the other thing is to the right, you don't want to plant the trees too close together. The rule of thumb is you want to plant away from the existing tree's drip line. So you can see that little tiny tree is well into the older tree's root system and definitely in its drip line. So that's just too close together. Next. So proper staking is another thing that enables a strong and stable tree. These are not well staked, and many of us have seen trees that are bending over or are weakened because they're not well staked. So we want to make sure all of our trees are well staked as seedlings. Next. Oh, sorry.
And as you know, the coral trees in Mission Park have been, discussed a lot lately. They were recommended to be cut down to make room for parking along Main Street there. Fortunately, now the city is rethinking that. One of them actually fell over, the one sort of to the west of the picture, the two in this picture, because of disease or weakness. And I don't even know, maybe Stacy can tell us later, what the status is of that project. It was going to, they were going to put those new parking places in there and take the trees down and reconfigure, get rid of the retaining walls and all that. And I don't know what's happening there, but I thought I'd put these up here. Coral trees are generally long-lived trees. So hopefully they will have a long life. When an arborist looks at them more in detail, maybe they can figure out a lot of coral trees last 150, 200 years. So that would be great if they lasted here. Next. So just a couple weeks ago, actually, 3 new oak trees were planted behind the museum, right adjacent to Santa Clara Street on the back side of the museum. Is it was a empty parcel that Paul Lindhart was able to do some public art, Shumash sort of related public art there, and calls it Echoes of a Recent Past. And the Tree Alliance was able to sponsor 3 new oak trees there, and they're fairly good sized oak trees, so they already look good and they're already providing shade. And we were really happy to be able to do that. Next.
So this is a very exciting event we have coming up on Thursday, October 28th at 10 a.m. The Ventura Tree Alliance, along with the East Ventura Community Council and the Sierra Club, have all gotten together to put trees in the ground at Community Park. So we're going to be planting 10 trees that day. The trees were donated by the Ventura Tree Alliance. The Sierra Club's providing volunteers, as is the East Ventura Community Council. Christy, am I missing someone? I feel like we have a 4th partner. No? Okay. If you think of it, just interrupt me. But anyway, everyone is welcome to come. This is the beginning of a 50 oak tree grove, and we're celebrating it as part of Oaktober, which many of the nonprofits that care about trees are celebrating. October is Oaktober. I think we're even going to have an Oktoberfest at Topa Topa Brewery on Saturday, October 23rd. We're not sponsoring that, but that sounds very, very fun to me. Next.
So we would love for you all to be part of our tree team in whatever way you can. We have a website for donations and information. The volunteer opportunity, the next volunteer opportunity is coming up on the 28th. And that is when the 10 oak trees are going to be planted in the community park. And as Barbara said, we have various groups that are bringing volunteers, like the East Ventura Community Council, the Sierra Club, and I think that's it. And then the Tree Alliance, and hopefully some people from your commission can come too. That's going to be a really fun event, and just the beginning, hopefully, of a lot more trees at Community Park, where there's around that bike path area. Could definitely use some shade. So there's our phone number. Next. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. So what we're doing is trying to take advantage of the now and get as many trees planted as possible. And we are extremely pleased to be able to work with the City Urban Forestry Department and the Parks Department to accomplish these. We have a lot of plans for the future. We'd be happy to, talk individually to all of you about what those future projects might be. But as for now, please go ahead and look at our website, venturatreealliance.com, or feel free to contact either Barbara or I, or if you want to have any questions right now, we're happy to answer them. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. What an exciting effort you ladies are involved in, and with this whole crowd. Yeah, I do have a question. So I think you kind of answered it at the end there, Christy, but so you're working with the Urban Forestry Department with the city?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the group within the city that's participating with you on these wells and the other plantings?
Yes, a lot of the tree projects we're looking at have to do with city property. The city street trees are on city land, and the parks are city land. The one behind the museum actually was city land too, but our partner there was actually the museum. So we are definitely partnering with the park staff. On the 28th, the Urban Forestry Department is working with the Parks Department to actually dig the holes for those trees. The Tree Alliance bought 10 oak trees, and they're in 24-inch boxes, so that's pretty big. So they're going to dig the holes with equipment that we don't have, and then place the trees. And then our volunteers will help, put the dirt back in, mulch on top, stake them, all those sorts of things. So it really is a true partnership.
And then I assume the ongoing watering, right, that's required for those young oaks.
The city's going to do that. They're going to use those Gator Bags, the pictures we showed with the Gator Bags. And then they're going to come around. They already water trees. And when they do the new entrance, Stacy, please correct me if I'm wrong about any of this. But what I was told is that when the new entrance gets done there, there's going to be trees and there's going to be Gator Bags. And so they'll have water trucks come in using the recycled water and fill up all those Gator Bags.
Excellent. All right, I reach out to the commission. Any commissioners have any questions or comments? It looks like we have our chair back in action as well. So,
hey. Well,
thank you very much, Vice Chair, for taking over. I think it was right on cue. I had the bright idea of coming to Community Park today to do the commission meeting in the car, and my phone overheated.
Oh.
And would you believe, right to my left are the 10 oak trees behind the cages being ready to be planted in.
Yay.
So I wanted to let you know Barbara was right on cue to see how much shade we need. So if these trees were bigger, I would have been parking in shade and my phone wouldn't have overheated. But I want to say the presentation was great. I have a quick comment. Again, thank you, Vice Chair, for picking me up on the communication. We talked about 12,000 empty tree wells, and then we moved into Gator Bags and stakes. And as we saw some of the photos of the smaller trees, do you have an idea, is the Tree Alliance going around town looking to stake and then put water bags on the existing trees as well that we have out there? And do we have any identified number of those trees?
That's a good question. So we're in our earliest stages right now. We are looking to fulfill the needs. So if someone asks us, I've got a street tree, would someone come water it? And the city can't do it. We're happy to help. We're really advocates for trees in any way we can help. And if people ask for help, we'll be happy to help them.
It's that partnership that I really appreciate from Ventura Tree Alliance, is filling in and helping the city. And you see the great relationship, like digging the holes and building that partnership. And that's why I was really motivated for having you speak today about your great organization, was to see that partnership that's growing. So thank you so much. And anybody else have any questions at the moment?
I don't really have many questions, but I have a couple of comments. Thank you, Ms. Weir and Ms. Brown, for your presentation. I went to your website last week or so when we got the announcement you were going to be on, and very impressed by your website and the information that I found there. And hopefully we can get that information out to the citizens of Ventura. My one question was, and kind of Mr. Chair Noren mentioned it, was, or someone did, citizens helping. I see a lot of trees that have been planted and they just kind of die. And it'd be nice to see the Jim Ackermans of the world, being a retired fireman that he is, starting some sort of tree water brigade or something like that. So I'd love to assist in that any way I can, and think that Jim's participation is wonderful. I hope he's watching right now. And a tree water brigade, Jim, would be, I think, really cool. Get citizens down there, watering these trees and restaking them and doing all the things that you guys all spoke of. So I think it's great. Totally supported, and good job, ladies, and everybody else that's involved.
Thank you. Anybody that wants to be on our email list, we do emails updates, and just go ahead and email us or call, and we'll put you on our list, and then you'll know what we're doing. We did have a training session for the recycled water, and Jim Ackerman brought his truck and showed everybody how to do the tank. And we're hoping people apply for that recycled water permit, and then we will assign them to trees, to water, and our goal is to create that water brigade. So any help we can have with that is great. Jim is totally into it, and he will be helping to train people.
Also, if you're interested in donating a truck to the Ventura Tree Alliance, we'll take it.
Okay, definitely. Us moving around, and we will use that as a resource for the urban forestry. I want to give urban forestry, Mike Malore and Andy Torres and our team a great shout out as well. I know they've been working hard with Ventura Tree Alliance, and everybody helped coordinating. Stacy, I'm sure, has been involved, and everybody else. So thank you for that presentation, and thank you for coming to the Parks and Rec Commission today, ladies.
I just wanted to also give a shout out to Nancy O'Connor, who's been very helpful working with us to make this happen. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you too. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Commissioner Bremer. Okay, with no further ado, we're going to move down our agenda today, moving right into public communications. Staff, do we have any public communications today?
We do. I have Trevor Gottsman. I'm going to go ahead and unmute him, and he will begin speaking. Trevor, you've been unmuted. You have 3 minutes.
Excellent. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everybody. Christy, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Yes, I want to just add to that, or diminish from it, actually. Get back to the simple stuff. Let us do the picking up and the dirty stuff rather than the blowers. I came on, early in the mornings when I get the dogs to Arroyo Verde, and poor Rob is there with his truck before dark, and I'm the only one there with the dogs, and all of a sudden the pristine mornings comes on, the blowers blowing down, and you hear it in the hills, and you hear it throughout everywhere. And of course, I'm walking off leash with the dogs, and I love that. And I hope to encourage more and more and more of it. So all of this community work that we're doing is excellent. And I'm here to support it. And I know our late friend who's helping us all the way. So I just wanted to point that out. Try and use tools, go back to manual. Every tool that you use that pollutes is a polluting tool. It's not, if there is a better way, let's do it. Liz was all about action, and we really need to act, each and every one of us. The more we remind each other, the better it's going to be. So the more we keep up doing the right, every action that we do. When I turn on the blower, it's nice and easy to have it and to run, and it's powerful and it's blowing everything, but it's polluting. They are better. So brooms are good devices. There are many people like myself who are willing to do and form a schedule, and this is what we need to do. And we'll work it. I'm here to help, and I'm hoping I can, because slowly but surely, as the intention goes, that's all we've got, is to keep that intention pure, and then we will get to where we're going to go, slowly but surely, but hopefully sooner than later. And keep resilient, keep reminding each other, keep each other in check, checking each other. When the leaves fall, we rake them up, we sweep them up, we mulch them, we carry, we spread them where they need to be spread. Keep more simple, learn to walk bare feet, learn to touch the right things, learn to know what and how to respect everything. And Parks and Rec is the place to really express it, use our senses, all our capacity, and find and connect with each other. So that's really what I wanted to point out tonight, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night. Have a wonderful afternoon. I have a meeting coming at 5, so this is perfect.
Mr. Godsman, thank you so much for your comments today. Appreciate that.
I'd like to make a comment to Mr. Gotsman if he's still there. You still there, sir?
I had muted him because his time had almost expired.
Okay,
I can unmute him though if you'd like.
I'll make a comment, and he doesn't need to respond, but he can listen.
I unmuted him.
I am here now. I've been unmuted. I will listen though. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll listen. Thank you, Derek.
There is a Facebook Friends of Arroyo Verde Park you might be interested in looking up on Facebook. There's a lot of good information about Arroyo Verde Park, and just throwing that out for you. It's called Friends of Arroyo Verde Park. Thank you.
So thank you, Thank you, Derek. Good evening, everybody. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Any more communications, Courtney?
No more public communication. Thank you.
Courtney, can I check my mic?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I want to reach out to Trevor real fast, Mr. Godsman, and say thank you for your consistent communication. If we had 15, 20, 30, 100 residents that wanted to participate as much as you and support Parks and Rec, we would be a lot better off as a department and as a commission to have more input. So your consistency as public communication is appreciated. Thank you. Moving down our agenda, the consent items. We have the number 1 is the approval of the minutes. It's recommended the Parks and Rec Commission approve the regular minutes from September 8th, 2021. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
I'll
If not,
move.
thank you, Commissioner Bremer. That's a first to approve the minutes.
I'd be glad to second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner, for the second. Staff, would you please take a roll for the minutes?
Yes, of course. Chair Noren,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Shapiro,
Yes.
Commissioner Bremer,
Yes.
Commissioner Turner,
Yes.
and Commissioner Nelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
thank you. Minutes are approved.
Thank you, staff.
And then Chair Norn, when I believe when you dropped off, I had emailed earlier for item number 2. I recommend moving to November. I have not heard back from the Ventura Conventions Bureau.
Thank you for that recommendation, Stacy. I definitely agree with that. If staff would be okay with that, we'd like to move consent item number 2 to a further date. Appreciate that so much. And then we're going to move down our agenda to the information items. And today we've got one, which I'm looking forward to in the discussion and staff, is the CIP Unfunded Projects. We've got 5 working funded projects, but it is recommended that the Parks and Rec Commission receive a consolidated rankings from the Parks and Rec staff of the current underfunded capital improvement projects for Parks and Rec Department. Staff?
So Brittany, if you advance to the next slide, the next 2 slides, actually. So I'm not sure how well everyone can see this on their screen. So the Parks and Rec commissioners sent me all of their rankings of the unfunded. So by ranking number 1 through 28 are the projects unfunded. The lowest ranking number then in turn ends up being the highest. So these are just the consolidated rankings from all the commissioners. And I will go through. If I'm going through too slow or too fast, please stop me. So coming out as at number 1 is the skateboard park improvements with a total ranking of 30. We have Arroyo Verde irrigation retrofit Next, at 31, Ventura Community Park build out at 53, West Park improvements at 54, Camino Real parking enhancements at 56, Community Park playground structure 64, Arroyo Verde Park Trail upgrades 71, Mission Park Figueroa Plaza enhancements 80, Camino Real tennis facility 85, West Side Community Pool 88, Harry Lyon Park lighting replacement 93, California Plaza repairs 94, Chumash Park lighting 95, replacement of trailers at Olivas Golf Course 96, Ventura Event Center 105, East End Library / Learning Center repairs 105, Camino Real Sport Field lighting upgrades 108, Olivas Park Golf Course improvements 113, Community Park softball field number 3 117, Park exterior lighting replacement 119, Telephone Road median landscape improvements at 135, Parks underground trash recycle can installation 136, City parking lot landscape improvements at 138, median sidewalk lighting south seaward 141, Johnson Drive median and slope improvements at 156, Marina Park paid parking at 157, and then Hilltop Drive / Grove Street median stabilization 161, and then Ventura Harbor median landscape improvements at 161. All the project details were provided at the previous two meetings with the details in each project description. So again, these are unfunded. A couple to point out for the trailers, we did discuss there's identified funding, but it hasn't been adopted into the CIP plan yet, so it's not technically in the book. The West Side pool is not an active project. However, it's still, money has been spent on that project, so it still shows in the book. So again, these are all projects, and these are the rankings that you guys came up with together as a commission individually.
Thank you, Stacy. Well, before we get into the discussion, would you mind explaining the numbers really fast to the right that were there for everybody?
Yes. So each commissioner ranked their top 1 through 28, and then I added everyone's individual rankings, and this is where it landed as a commission overall ranking. So the lower the number, the higher the priority, I guess you could say.
Okay, thank you. And I just would think, going through the record, I think it's very important for the community to know, and everybody on this meeting, that we are just a recommending body of commissioners, of volunteers. And so we're working hard with staff and did such a great job. So when we get questions about what are the priority of what staff is working or the ideas or different projects, that's why we're talking about the CIP today. And so it's super important for us to have this resource. So, and then to go further in discussion, there's also a grading scale that works, because if we look at the projects within the staff report, I believe was there a ranking project? Would you mind listing off the top 5 projects of the ranking of the staff, or of the matrix, or however you would describe that?
Well, staff didn't rank these, only the commissioners ranked the unfunded. We have 4 CIPs that are funded and moving forward. That is the Arroyo Verde Playground, Inclusive Playground, the Pettit Wall Replacement, Marina Park Playground, and is it the second entrance? Sorry, I can't remember the 4 funded.
You're right about that. Within our conversation the last few months, we've talked about a matrix system of scoring that the Public Works and our city as a whole does to rank capital improvement projects, correct?
Correct. And that's a new ranking system this year. It was 1 through 4. 1 being like it is a safety issue or a liability. And then, 2 is it's funded and, has identified funding to move forward. CIP is in Public Works. So being the new system, I can't speak in detail to it, but it's a ranking of 1 through 4. We did not rank the unfunded would be 4. There's no funding for them unless there's a safety concern and money is identified, then it moves into like a category 1. almost like a have to do.
Very similar to, I think we occurred with our trailers at Olivas Park Links.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. That information is so important for our everyone to know in the community, because they want to look at the projects and understand why they're not getting done or where in the process they are. And this information coexisting with our staff system plus what happens within the commission is great. So thank you so much for that detailed information.
You're welcome.
Moving forward, commissioners, you have some comments that you'd like to make about the list after you see it, please?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Bremer.
Stacy, I thought when we were talking about community park build out and West Park improvements, that those were going to be broken up, because community park build out, I mean, the playground, at community park would be one piece of that. That was broken out, but
that was broken out. And then the same with West Park, but we didn't break out every detail of community park. I mean, it's massive. So we didn't break out because either way it's unfunded. We didn't break out just the added sport fields, the softball fields. We didn't break out just the added gymnasium, multi-court sports. But what has come up in conversation is a playground at community park. So that was broken out. And then same with West Park, we updated and removed the items that have been done over the past couple of years, like the lighting and the landscape and the walkway. So that was removed.
I was just wondering, if we did break out the components of the parks, what the likelihood of getting some of it done would be better than taking this giant project that will be very difficult to get all the money for, but we might be able to pick off individual projects within the plan. That's my issue.
Well, and that's kind of what has occurred out there with the added multi-sport fields. What's broken out in there is not only the playground, but also the field number 3 sport lighting. And then, same with the second entrance. That's, in one massive community park build out. But as those things arise, this is done every 2 years. As those needs and those demands arise or money is identified, you're always able to pull out the next component. But
Right,
2 components have been broken out.
Yeah, I guess the issue being, when you're looking at the description community park build out, what's left in there? Because we have plucked out individual pieces over time, but then you still, that one large category is what is remaining? What are the individual projects remaining? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Okay.
No, I think that's definitely a fair assumption, and that's something we can make forward, is making a complete list of the individual projects, not for today. But I think what staff did in this list, which again is just a list of reference for the community, is brought out the projects that were referenced in prior commission meetings. And correct me if I'm wrong with that, staff, but I believe what I saw there was what we kind of referenced and talked about. So do we have any questions from Commissioner Nelson? Commissioner Miller, welcome to the thing as well. Meeting. Commissioner Turner. Okay, I mean, if there's no comments, there's been a lot of work done on this, and we've had a lot of great time today with our presentations. So I can see no problem in just moving forward with this and saying what a great job. I'm very excited to see the skate park at #1. I can hear the cry from the youth and the moms and the dads to have the skate park. So that's exciting for me to see. And the irrigation at Arroyo Verde Park, I think, still focusing after the Thomas fire, is something that stands out to me. I'm excited to have the park, full inclusive park, moving forward. I'm excited to getting Arroyo Verde into what means, I believe, Green Valley, if I'm knowing my pronunciation here. Anyway, moving forward. So Stacy, with any further ado, do you have any more questions or commissions? Can we move forward from that information item? Okay, perfect. I will move forward with that information item into commissioner communications. Staff communications, or staff communications are right there on the bottom. Staff communications, please.
Okay, so I just wanted to update the commission. Construction on the second entrance and the additional parking at Community Park has begun. So please bear with us. Parking out there is going to be extremely tight, but we're super excited to have this breaking ground and actually seeing something happen out at that beautiful location. I also wanted to reiterate the Ventura Tree Alliance in partnership with the city's Parks and Recreation Department will be planting 10 trees at Ventura Community Park on October 28th. We would like to invite any commissioners interested to join us for the event at 10 a.m. Be aware we can have up to 3 commissioners. Once we hit a 4th commissioner, now we have to notice the meeting, take meeting minutes, and or it becomes a Brown Act violation. The grand opening for the Arroyo Verde Inclusive Playground is still slated for November. We will keep you posted. Chair Noren mentioned the turf at AV. So I just wanted to give everyone a heads up that the irrigation was down for a short period during construction. The grass will return and fill the bulb patches. After the playground construction is completed, Public Works will be updating the electrical and then replacement of the booster pump. So good things are coming to that beautiful park location that so many of us enjoy. So bear with us. We're aware of the bulb patches out there, and there is a plan to mitigate, and it will all return green. As we move into our windy season, I wanted to remind our commissioners and our residents to contact our Parks Division with any city tree safety concerns. Please call the 652-4550. So again, 652-4550, or email us at parksandrec@cityoventura.ca.gov for any reports of city tree issues. And that is end of report for staff.
Thank you, Stacy. Do we have any questions from the commission about any staff communications? Excellent. Okay. Let's keep moving on here down our agenda into our commissioner communications. I'm going to go ahead and go last today if it's okay by the commissioners. Who would like to go first tonight? Vice Chair?
No, I think I'm good at the moment.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I'll go. I just wanted to say to Stacy and everyone, I've been watching the inclusive playground progress, and it gets better every day. They're moving forward and it's starting to take shape. It looks great.
Yay.
Thank you, Commissioner Bremer. I want to second that. I've been up there. I had a chance to go to a meeting and listen in about some progress with Scarlet Landscaping, other local great businesses helping us out there. And so it's great progress moving forward. And we want to give our project manager, Mr. Lopez, a shout out. Any commissioner in the communications? Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna go to my communications real fast. And I'm going to go to the park, which we are here. My phone is in very high load, but I want to give the Ventura Tree Alliance a big shout out. Hopefully everyone can see me. Here are the trees going in October, right here. And I also wanted to say how I miss all the commissioners and how I'm looking forward to maybe in the future getting out and meeting at a park, having a meeting out here and really getting to be outside, because staff and Eric, Mr. Burton, the community games is here, corporate games is here, but the equipment is here, the grading is happening, and progress is going on. And that's what this commission has always talked about, was getting things done and doing it on time. And we're sitting with 1 minute left in our meeting. I think that gives a shout out to the most important person, is our director. Miss Nancy O'Connor is doing a good job every day leading us and being our leader. And we know the transition we've gone through with Mr. Martin going up north. But for my commissioner communication, I want to say thank you, Director O'Connor, for continuing to move forward and keeping everything together. Thank you so much. Okay, with no further ado, the view of the beautiful park, Commissioner here is going to get back to coaching, and I wish everybody a great day.
Thank you, Commission.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good.
Everybody, bye. Good job.